And we're live.
Yeah, that scene of her pouring the beer down her leg and letting it roll down there, that reminded me of or I guess I should say I was watching Jackass 2.5 on Netflix and watching this dude. They're like, yeah, dude, so we got this guy with like the longest fingernails in the world. And we're like, what do we use them for, And so, Knoxville just tells me to lay down. And so it's this dude with the longest fingernails on earth. They are, if you haven't seen this, guys, I imagine you have, look it up. It's grotesque. It's like he has to hold his hand up near like his chin level just to keep the nails from dragging on the ground. They're disgusting, and they're not well manicured. They're gnarled and coiled like old dog shit, solidified. His thumbnail is in a giant loop-de-loop of shit and disgustingness, and he lives in India, so it's not. He's not Purelling these things every night, and he stands there with his hand standing on a table, and Steve-O is laying with his mouth directly under the bottom of where his nails are hanging, and the Indian guy just goes like, "It's a Miller time," and then pours a Miller Lite beer over his hand and lets the full 12 ounces drip down this guy's fingernails and into Steve-O's mouth. And I've watched a lot of Jackass and a lot of fucked up shit on the internet, and watching Steve-O lay there like writhing and coiling, trying to keep his mouth as all of this nasty 70-year-old fingernail beer is dripping into his mouth as he's vomiting. I think it's one of the grossest things in Jackass history, right behind the big fat fuck who is running on a treadmill in all of that Reynolds rap, and then they take all his sweat that compiled and someone drinks it. Both of those make me want to vomit.
I'm going to tell you right now, I would take that fingernail beer over the paper cuts.
Oh, no. Hell no. I'd rather get the paper cuts than that fingernail beer. I'd be vomiting the whole time.
I would do
what was
two
so
or
gross
three
about the fingernail beer? I'm not following.
They take the webbing of the
can you
fingers.
Look up a picture of that guy's
and they take a big manila envelope and
yeah, that's awful.
Okay,
but the fingernail beer
this filthy Indian peasant has like literally 60 years of fingernail growth. They are black and brown and curled and filthy. And I'm gonna guess literally 3.5 feet long. And he pours the beer through them. And let's watch.
Here we go.
I don't know. I feel like dirt only gets so gross.
Oh, okay. You're gonna see. All right. Just count it down when you're ready.
One moment.
Oh, they're grosser than I remember, but I'd still take this over the paper cuts.
Okay. Let me start over at 0. 3, 2, 1, play.
It's a Miller time.
Look at those nails. Oh.
Look at the ladies watching. Oh, they're so gross. They look like vines.
I think he's hamming it up, and that the beer is not really catching that much yuck on the way down.
Let's see.
I think it's the idea of what's happening more than the actual taste.
That's funny.
Look at this.
Taylor's like,
now the ladies are offended. That offends the ladies. I like that they showed up for this event knowing what was happening, but the moment he vomited, they can't handle it.
I'm sorry, ladies.
I'm sorry, ladies.
Thank you, Sridhar.
He says thank you to him.
Thank you, Sridhar.
How do you think he felt, Shadar, that is, about this whole incident? Did he feel offended, or did he understand why no man would want to do this?
Shadar is not a normal man. Like, if he were capable of reading humans' disgust for what he's done, he wouldn't have done this for the last 50 years.
By the way, the thumbnail is coiled up, like you said. I didn't remember it. It's coiled up so big, it's like one of those gigantic lollipops from cartoons. Like, it's gargantuan. It's a pinwheel of filth.
It is like 2 bubble tapes put together in length. His thumbnail. It's revolting.
Do you think that there'll ever be a thing like Jackass, like in the same vein with new people? Because I don't think anyone can match or duplicate and what the things that they did with the charisma of like a Johnny Knoxville. Not only was just willing to do anything, right, but he was also a charismatic, funny guy. Like there's something about his react, like his little chuckle, his giggle, right?
He's like hee like
funny.
High pitched shit.
I go in the other direction. I feel like if I see Jackass and it's like, let me see if I have this right. You ride a skateboard really fast into a kiddie pool. fuck, I've seen 6 things better than that today. I feel like the internet has democratized jackassery. And
I feel
now,
like-
instead of just people who have access to like movie production being jackasses, everyone has access to it. And there are tons of people who aren't even everyday jackasses, who are just, say, not very good cliff divers. And you get to watch them instead.
That's fair enough, like as far as the actual content of craziness. But I think Kyle really hit on something when he said the charisma. Like, it wasn't just you were watching them do ridiculous shit. Like, they were being funny. They were being very likable. Like, the whole friend group they had, they were somehow able to be brutally mean to each other, like tasing each other or putting, like, you know, bull prods on each other's asses, surprisingly, as they're trying to sleep. But they still kind of remain cordial in, like, a funny, fun-loving way. And I think that really drew people into it.
I think you're really selling them short by saying skateboards into kiddie pools. Like early on, like when they were just on MTV, they'd be in shopping carts, like jumping over stuff. But the movies are incredibly high production value. Like look at this. He's jumping a jet ski, like out of like some sort of fancy swimming pool. Like,
yeah, and I think this is the one where he could get seriously hurt.
Oh
right?
yeah.
I'm being sarcastic because all their shit they can get seriously hurt.
Yeah. He jumps it like out of the fucking yard, like through over
this is
over
only
ramp.
50 seconds. Let's watch this.
All right. I was just
I'm at
watching
0.
it. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. This is the jet ski. Dude. Oh, yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit. You just barely clipped the top.
Look how scared he is.
And it wasn't like he jumped it downhill.
Yeah, that's nothing. I'm completely unimpressed with this stunt.
I think it's funny.
I don't know what matches this.
Teenage Woody would have done this. Like, I had a jet ski.
Teenage Woody would have to pump his dick up with the pump every morning. If he'd done that.
I had a jet ski, and we would jump waves, and we would get more air than that 15 times a day.
In the
Yeah,
water.
but you did it into the water.
Into the water, that's true. But he just did it onto a downhill slope, like motorcyclists. You know how they jump up and they land on the decline ramp?
But when
On
you
a
land on a
motorcycle.
decline ramp on a motorcycle, that momentum carries and you continue along your way.
You think
When you
he-
do it in a jet ski, you stop immediately and you
Are you sure
break your
about that?
sternum.
I don't think that's true at all. I think he slid on the downside.
I mean, he came down pretty hard on that.
Yeah,
Those
he
handles.
did. He slid down quickly. I just feel like that. That was a great example of me of things that in the current internet don't rank as high as they did way back in the day.
I don't know who matches that today.
Yeah.
Like
I
there are
don't know. I
guys
have
who
a
do
soft spot
stunts
for
out there,
Jackass.
like the Dudesons and like do stuff, you know, but nothing like that.
I saw
Like
the
nobody
guy-
is doing that.
He lit his back on fire. He was wearing a shirt and he reached behind him and he lit it on. I don't know what his master plan was, but it didn't work out well. And he quickly realized he wasn't that good at putting out clothing fire. And that was 80 times what jumping off a Hedges jet ski thing is. That's not that much. They used to ram their shopping carts into the curb, which I imagine is unpleasant, but
Well, that's
big.
That's their MTV show. Like I'm specifically talking about the movies, because when they got the movies, they had production value. They were able to do like the running of the bulls thing. They did the when they're in that, they had an enormous shopping cart, like one that all of them could get in. One of the guys breaks his ankle on that and can't do the rest of the movie. They filmed it sequentially, I suppose. Remember when they had the porta potty, which was full of shit, and they had it like crazy rubber banded up to cranes, and they launched Steve-O in it, and he's in it, flying through the air like a carnival ride with shit erupting around him.
that sounds insane. I don't remember it. How did he land? Oh, was it like a bungee jump?
Yeah.
In a porta
Yeah,
potty?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Steve-O porta potty. Yeah, here it is. This is a short. It's called the Poo Cocktail Supreme. like when they zoom out and show you the setup, you're just like, okay, there were some professionals involved with this setup.
The Poo Cocktail Supreme.
Are you linking it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
it seems to be taking a moment to come through. It's like just a spinning icon next to it in Skype. If you YouTube
There it is. It
search,
just came through
there we
for
go.
me.
Okay,
He looks like a little kid sitting in that harness.
looks a little like Ice Poseidon.
A little bit.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Ready, set, play.
I'm Steve-O, and this is the Poo Cocktail Supreme.
Oh, he has a helmet on. What's the big deal?
All right. Good luck.
It's a construction helmet
I know,
because
it's
he's like a
goof.
construction.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't even think it's strapped on.
It's not.
It's just sitting there on top of his head. Goes so fast.
Cocktail Supreme.
That one's good. Where did they
You
come
can see
from?
the-
Is it on the floor?
You can see, yeah, it was all in the bottom of it. You can see the shit mist surrounding it.
How did they rig it up? Because those things aren't that durable.
You can see there's like a skeleton of metal inside it.
Oh. Oh, that's a. It's not a very viscous shit. He was done with this after the first bounce. You know he was. But
I don't think it bounced that many times. I think we're watching different angles of the same jumps. Oh, he always throws out.
I would throw up in that situation.
Yeah, I might too. And this one kind of ties into what Kyle was saying, though. Like, you can find idiocy on the internet, but this kind of organized expert idiocy, you don't see all the time. You know,
This is level 10 retardation.
Look at the shit. This is what's hardcore about them, because I feel like if someone did this today, they'd use fake shit because of like the health risk, right? Like all the bacteria in there getting in your potentially your eyes and mouth and stuff. Look at the shit in the bottom of the thing.
I do think it was watered down dog shit, right?
Oh, do you?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't
remember
think that
exactly.
they would even do. I can't even imagine that the Jackass guys would do that with human shit.
I'm reading. I thought it was human shit. I
If
thought
so, then what is the consistency of all of their shits like?
What? I have a theory on
well,
that.
there's water in the bottom of those things. It's like a chemical. Like
That's right.
in,
There's the
in
blue
Oh,
stuff.
you're-
But wait, people pee in there.
You're right.
And
That
I,
too.
I feel like we're discounting the amount of urine that would be in that.
And I
never thought it through.
Damn it, Taylor.
and you know that like if this thing is about to happen, then so many of the guys from the crew would be like, "Oh, I got to shit so bad. I didn't shit this morning. I wanted to shit in the porta potty that Steve-O's going to be launched in." And I can just imagine them all like getting their shit in, just like they all shaved their pubes off to. Remember when they all shaved their pubes off, glued it to the guy's face, and told him he was going to fake pretend to be a terrorist to a cab driver. But the joke was on him, not the cab driver, because the cab driver's a fucking actor. And so when he starts making jokes about being a terrorist, the driver fake kidnaps him, pulls out a handgun, and makes him get in the trunk of the car, and he's in there crying.
And one of the guys had crabs.
Yes. That's the punchline at the very end of the bit. Like when they get him out of the trunk and they're like, "Oh, it was a gag, and he's like all tearful. They're like, he starts trying to pull the beard off and it's super glued on instead of using.
Yeah, we used
spirit
airplane glue. Yeah, that's gonna.
and they're like, "Oh, and that's all of our pubes." And they pull down their pants and show them that they've all shaved their pubes off. And yeah, it turns out one of the guys had crabs. He was literally glued crabs to his face, and they were getting in his mouth while the lady was applying them, and he was just. So fucked.
That is like, that's one of the most mean-spirited pranks they ever did, because that is cruel.
Yeah, that guy was the focus of all of the like meaner shit because he was like a lower tier cast member. I feel like
He was the guy who got his tooth pulled out by the Lamborghini driving away, right?
he was, and they never replaced it. I just remember him for years being the guy with no front tooth.
Yeah, he like had an NHL player look, but clearly wasn't one.
He's also the guy, and I thought this was some of the stuff is humiliating. It kind of ran the gambit with them between scary, humiliating, funny, and just excruciatingly painful. The most humiliating one was when that same guy who got the pubes glued to his face went into a hardware store and shat in a display model toilet.
Yeah.
He pulls his
That's the
pants
guy
back.
who can poop on demand.
Well, the first day they tried to do it, and he was saving his poop, right? he shat himself in the van on the way there because he couldn't hold it anymore. He literally shits himself in the van, and they're all getting out vomiting because he has shat in the van.
These
the
guys
second-
vomit pretty easily.
I feel like I don't vomit from gross things ever. But if I was around that, like I've never been around something that gross, you know?
I feel
Yeah,
like the average mom could handle these situations.
I don't
Baby
know.
poop's a lot different than all your friends' man.
You know what is going into baby poop. You don't know what the hell all of these guys who at the time, lots of them using drugs, drinking like a fish, eating like just trash, I bet. Like that was not Gerber creamy peaches shit.
Baby poop becomes pretty much human poop when they start eating solid foods.
Yeah, when they get the bacteria in their gut.
Okay, that's,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
even
know,
then,
but yeah,
you gotta
Yeah,
control-
that's the deal. Like
Yeah.
I think first few poops like don't like just literally don't smell like anything because there's no like bacteria in their gut or something like that.